Hello, hello, hello. This is the review of The Sacrificial Princess and the King of Beasts. And this show is about this girl named Sadifi, who is a sacrificial princess. I mean, she's not really a princess, but she's a sacrifice for this nation of beasts. And their king, his name is Leonhard, but he doesn't have a name in the start. He doesn't like to eat sacrifices, he just like lets them escape. And when he sees her, he lets her escape, but also she sees him turn into a human and she sees that he's a human, and he's really self-conscious about being a half human. And then she just gives him advice and says it's okay to be a half human and it's not that big a deal or something. And then he starts liking her and she starts liking him for some reason. I don't get the motivation of them liking each other. It's honestly kind of creepy. And then they start liking each other, and then he becomes his acting queen consort, whatever that means. She becomes like she's training to be queen or something. And I'm gonna talk about them later, but for now I'm talking about side characters because honestly they're more interesting than these two. I mean, that I like at least. These two are named Psy and Clops, because they're Cyclops. The one with the eyes doesn't do much. It just repeats what the one with the mouth says. And the one with the mouth just says some stuff, but they're not that important to the story. But they're fine. Then there is this guy named Anubis who doesn't like the human girl because they're racists and doesn't like don't like other species. Um, and he's my favorite character in the whole show. But yeah, he just doesn't like her, and then she proves him wrong because she's so great. This girl is named Princess Amit, who is like a princess, but of course people are racist and they don't like her because she's a reptile and she's like a lizard thing or something. And then she becomes a servant, from princess to a servant, which is like downgrade. But she likes being a servant. She's really great. She has a crush on this other general guy who's like the general of like the head of the fighting people, the army, right? His name is Jormungand. He's also a reptile. He's pretty great. Their romance is better than these two's romance, honestly, the main two characters. And the last character I'll talk about here that's relevant is Lant. He's a hyena, and people are racist against hyenas or something because I guess they're wolves. I don't know what hyenas are. They're dogs. And he loses an eye, obviously, because you can see it in his picture. But he becomes like his Sadifi's protector, I guess, the bodyguard. And he's pretty cool. He's interesting. Honestly, they're all more interesting than these two characters because I feel like these two characters, Sadifi and not Leonhardt, not that much. But I feel like Sadifi is really preachy, and she always gives advice to people, and it's weird advice, but I just feel like she just like fixes people, whatever people she meets on her journey to becoming queen. She just like tells them, fixes their problems, and it's great. But she's a little preachy and annoying about it. Um, and this guy who's like the king, I understand his problem more because he's like a human, and people don't like humans in the demon world or beast world. Sorry, not demon. Um, and he just doesn't. He just feels like bad about it because people don't like him. But if they find out that he's a human, then they won't like him as their king. So his insecurities make more sense. Sadafu's insecurities are just like her parents just told her that she was a sacrifice and she's adopted and stuff. That's enough, but she's like really preachy and kind of annoying. Now, what I don't like about the show the most, which really made me feel like the show's way longer than it needed to be. It's like 24 episodes long, but I just feel like it could have been like 20 episodes or like even 15. I know anime doesn't do that. They only go from 13 to 24, which is a big jumps. That's why some shows just feel like for 13 episodes long, they just feel like they ended way too quickly. And for some shows that are 24 episodes long, they just feel like they're dragging on. This show does feel a bit draggy at some point, especially in this from episode like in the episode 15 to 20 or somewhere around that. Just feels a little draggy, and I feel kind of annoyed at that. The biggest part of the show that I don't like, that kind of ruins it for me, is the relationship between these two. I just feel like it's so creepy because they are just it's a girl who's like I don't know how old she's supposed to be. I looked up how old she is. She's supposed to be in like her mid-teens, but she looks like she's like 12 or 14. It doesn't matter how old she is, at least in this context, because it's a fantasy show. This guy is supposed to be in his 20s, mid-20s, but it's a demon. It doesn't matter. He's been alive for hundreds of years. That's not the problem. The problem is that she looks like a child. She acts like a child. She's really mature, I feel like, but she looks like a really innocent child. And this guy is like a gruff older man type thing. I know he's a beast too, and that makes it kind of weird. Age gaps aside, but it just feels weird because she's basically in love with she's in love with animal, a beast. And it sounds fine on paper and in a book. If I was like, yeah, it's cool or whatever, it's fiction, doesn't matter. But in visuals, it just feels, with animation, it feels kind of weird. Every time they interact, I feel like they have a nice relationship. I feel like that, but sometimes when they're getting a little too touchy-feely, I just feel uncomfortable. Because she looks like a child. Like, sometimes when he holds her, he literally holds her like a kid. Like, in his arms. Like a little baby. And he's like 2 times the size of her. I just feel weird about it. But anyways, I still watched the show because I thought the other parts of the show were good, when she's trying to be queen and stuff, and other characters were much more interesting than these guys. At the end, she gives him a book, and he turns into a human because of the miasma. There's a villain who doesn't matter. I didn't give a shit about the villain. At the end, they get married, and then they have a child, which I feel is kind of gross. But the kid was cute, I guess, but it turns into a human and a beast. I get the child was cute. I'm glad they don't appear in the flashback, though, but fast forward, the time skip. They don't appear in that. Only the kid does. Anyways, this show made me uncomfortable. I was really dreading watching it every week, but I finished it anyways. Is it worth it? It's not. But I do have to say, the animation of the beasts are pretty good, because they talk and stuff, and it doesn't look like CGI, and it doesn't look shitty. The animation is fine, but my biggest problem is the biggest part of the show is their relationship, and their relationship just made me uncomfortable. And it's kind of creepy. But I still watch the show because I don't like to drop shows, especially when they're good in any other parts. I gave this show a 7 out of 10. The opening and ending was pretty good. Only the first one, though, but then the second one got shitty, and I didn't watch. I will always skip the second opening and ending. The first one was alright, though. But yeah, the show has better side characters than main characters. Anyways, I'm rambling. Thank you for watching this review. I doubt anyone has seen Sacrificial Princess, because I did not see a lot of people watching. I don't know. I just feel like people won't watch the show. But if you did, thank you for watching, and goodbye.